everyone, it's that time, and it looks like I've picked a series of films that are going to test my pronunciation. So I apologize ahead of time if I mispronounce these names. Today, we are looking at a French thriller called Home Sitters. It is written and directed by Chris Rakotomanji. And I hope I pronounced that right. And we get the story of June Williamson, played by Chloe Guillot, and she is having a tough time finding a job, but she gets the job as a house sitter. And considering she's just broken up with her boyfriend, she decides that, hey, this is the perfect time to get away from it all and earn some money along the way. Well, while she's house sitting for this beautiful house, her ex and his friend show up, and if that doesn't make things complicated enough, suddenly mercenaries show up and they want to attack the house because there's something inside the house they want, but she doesn't know what it is. But she's a home sitter and she's going to protect this house. And we see how the action and the hijinks ensue as these mercenaries try to get into this house that is actually a fortress with its own types of protection. And they take on these three individuals who step up to try to protect what isn't there, but what they've vowed to protect. Wow. Home Sitters is pretty wild. I was not sure what to expect. Going into this, I'm like, okay, where's this going to go? And it has fun with itself. While there are some serious moments, there's definitely a lot of fun action films in moments in here that I loved, and especially the fight choreography in here. Now, Gillot, who plays June, she was fantastic in here. I loved her performance in here. This woman who's just put in the situation she wasn't planning on, but she steps up. She gets to be a badass. She gets some wonderful fights in here. Clashing with Strexler, played by Jorge Lorca, and he's a scary individual, right? And Marianne Germain plays Katrina. She's a scary individual, and all of them get to tussle and fight. And I really liked how the action scenes were directed, and they were energetic, and they were on the edge of your seat at some points. The supporting cast that they have in here are also do well. Marcus, played by Boris Thievenaud, he had some great one-liners. Francis Vernet, who plays Oliver, I enjoyed his character as well. The interesting dynamic between those two and with June. So yeah, there's a lot to like in here, I think. Now, there are some moments in the film during the fights where you're just like, they would have probably gone at it a little bit differently. There's some moments during, some pauses where they wait for someone to get up or whatnot, and so that took me a little bit out of it in parts. And there is some CGI blood, though they are working on a limited budget, so I understand them using it, but almost wouldn't have mind them not having it at all. You wouldn't necessarily need it because the action is so kinetic in this. In the scenes where you see all these people battling, and some of them are brutal fights too, and yeah, there's some humor, there's some drama, and a lot of action as well. I did like, he's only credited as Barry, but Wolfstrom, who's kind of the lead, the lead leader, the big boss of the mercenaries, loved this character. He was embodying like every James Bond villain you've ever seen. He looked like a James Bond villain. He definitely would have fit the part. And yeah, so Home Sitters, it's not going to be like top tier action, but for an indie action film, they do very well with an intriguing story and also a few Easter eggs in there, especially the license plate on one of the cars that they have in here. I dug the reference that they had in here. So yeah, Home Sitters, I think if you don't mind indie action films, or you're looking for something a little different along that lines and don't mind subtitles, which didn't take away at all for me on this film, I think you'll dig Home Sitters. I believe it's out on VOD now. And yeah, if you have seen Home Sitters, as always, love to hear your constructive feedback on this film. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Hit subscribe and all that bells and whistles here onto YouTube. I thank you for your support. And until next time, remember, keep that ticket stub